Welcome to Tim and Jake Live. Dr. Trey Cox, who is an amazing leader, multiplying leader, caring for discipleship and marriage ministry, family life director. He is on with us today as well. We want to talk about three things. Right up front, I want an update, Jake, about East Mesa, how things are going there. We want to nail down on our simple discipleship process, and then how are we reaching more people with the gospel in the fastest growing county. You heard it just say that yesterday, the fastest growing county here in the United States. It's all about felt needs, meeting people where they're at. And we're going to talk about what CG Cares is all about as well. So yeah, let's talk East Mesa, brother. How was it it's been 3 weeks now back on campus. Are we nailing down kind of the rhythm, the setup and takedown? And it looks like, I saw a picture of Val Lazinski, and praying over, it looked like all the volunteers. What a spiritual, there's ample service. We talked about opening the door of service yesterday, but it's a spiritual thing, man. There are people that are on fire, right?
So the answer is yes. It's going really well, and it'll be great to be back at Gilbert this week to have Pastor Tim at East Mesa, brother, for you to experience this.
Wait.
So start the morning, Pastor Tim, at 6 a.m. with a small group of leaders that bring their own lawn chairs, their own coffee. If you want to bring your own food. Sit in the parking lot, watch the sunrise, and study spirituality of the cross and study a book of the Bible. So enjoy that. And then at 7 o'clock, you're joined by about 25 people already that are coming to the two trailers led by Rich Galster. And you unpack, we got it down to one trailer right now due to having some children's ministry stuff not needed yet until we open that up. And you roll all these carts out into the gym. And what we're getting better at is making sure people aren't just haphazardly doing things, but really team meeting, assigned structure, process. And so with the team there, it takes about an hour or so, and everything is really fully set up. And then the next 30 minutes is just fine-tuning where cords go, setting up the final chairs. And I am so incredibly happy, proud of, and thankful for that team. So when we looked at service yesterday, there was a re-upping, a recommitment to the East Mesa deployment plan. And so I want to read these things to you. People committed to these 5 things. I will commit to being a part of the East Mesa launch team. So I basically told the crowd there's about 80 people that would be a part of that. You are the launch team. We had to retool our minds and think, pre-COVID, we thought that way, but now we're back. We're all part of the launch team. The second one is this: I will greet and engage in conversation with anyone I don't yet know. And so we had 3 guests before that a couple weeks ago, and we looked out and we really didn't see hardly anyone engaging them. Yes, the pastors did, but we need everyone to greet. This goes for any campus, by the way. I will greet anyone I don't know. The third one here is, let me see here.
Did you get him to say this?
I did.
Repeat after me?
I did.
Okay.
I did. And I felt bad for some of you because I'm kind of forcing you to do this. You didn't have to, though. You don't have to commit, but that's how it rolled out. I will show up regularly to serve on a Sunday and where needed most. And this is because we know 1.4 Sundays a month is the average person in the nation showing up to worship. Now with COVID and online, it's down from that. And so we are saying commit to being here, because we wouldn't want a guest to walk in and see 25 of us. We'd rather them see 100 people passionately worshiping. Fourth one, I will pray for people to become followers of Jesus through our efforts. Yes. We have a weekly prayer walk every Thursday night now at 6 o'clock. That's really the most important time of the week for us. And I challenged people that even if you can't show up to that, set it in your watch, set in your calendar, 6 o'clock, stop, drop, and pray wherever you're at. Last one, I will join a small group if I haven't already done so. And some people probably just said that and didn't know, oh, that's what he meant. I guess I got to do it. It's so important to undergird this whole thing in prayer and in small groups. And the pinnacle of the day was that we had a baptism of a 6th grader, Deanna France. And as we've said here at Gilbert and now East Mesa, if you disciple someone into the Christian faith, if you are the father, maybe the mother of a household leading your house, it is totally scriptural that you're a disciple of Christ and you then can baptize that person. And so it was probably one of the coolest baptisms I ever had seen before, where Mark baptized his daughter, and he literally turned to her and said, I love you, I'm proud of you, and Jesus is always going to be with you. Cool. I baptize you in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And there was tears everywhere. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah.
No, thank you. There's this is why churches should always be leaning into new things, because it shapes a culture. We look back 5 some years now ago and how La Mesa shaped our culture. So if you're a part of the Christ Greenfield family of ministries, there will always be a push toward new things. Why? New things, percentage-wise, reach more people with the gospel. Think of Gilbert campus. Think of how maybe foreign some of those pledges in your deployment commitment, because I didn't have them repeat after me, but the one I would say we would grab at Gilbert is, I will greet everyone that I do not know. I will know their name. I will hear a little bit of their story. I will love on them and make sure they leave our campus knowing how glad we are they're here, and that we can't wait to see the growth that Jesus allows in their journey. So, yeah, that's very, very cool, man. Talk about, small groups. What is our simple, small? It's not small, but it is simple. Our divine journey with Jesus. It includes 3 things: worship, small groups, and serving. Small groups and serving. Do you have any idea about how we're doing as we head into October 12th? I had 3 different conversations with people yesterday that said, I am eager I got 2 friends, to start hosting a small group. But yeah, we can't wait. 6 p.m. October 12th. Any idea there, Trey?
I don't know on the numbers. I just know I've heard a lot of people talking about it.
Good.
Like you said, I haven't checked with the office to see the numbers officially, but
yeah, what I would reiterate right now is, I think a lot of people think about small groups and hosting, and they haven't been maybe a part of it before, so they think it's got to be like this. We always have to provide barbecue. I don't know. We always have to do it with 12 people. And so we like to say around here, 2 is better than 4, 4 is better than 6, 6 is better than 8, and so on. And that you don't want this massive amount of people. If that's your personality, and you're already in then.
Yeah.
But for some of us, we're like, does it count if I have 3 people? Yes, that's exactly the model. To have 2 friends, and then Trey Cox and his team and our team is going to really hook you up on that day, train you well. So it doesn't have this grand experience. It's going to be really small, and we're going to train you.
I just want to jump in there because I know you've had conversations with a few people, and I have, and it's people you're already hanging around.
Right.
It's not like you're going to grab total strangers. We want to invite people in that we aren't familiar with, but we also want you to gather with people that you're already having a relationship with, your schedules already mesh. Like you said, 2 friends. I know you've talked to a gentleman that didn't really understand that. I've talked to my mother-in-law, actually. She hangs around with ladies her age and serves. I'm like, do you understand it's a small group? We just need to know about you so we can support you and give you materials. And
yeah, that's the big why. Yeah. If we don't know you're doing it, we're looking at data saying, man, we don't have a lot of people in what you knew as Bible studies, we say as small groups. We don't have a lot of people in small groups. But some of you already are, and some of you want to be, and this is a good method to do that.
So since we're on small groups, let's talk about takeaway and how your group used it a week ago or so. It's question and answers directly tied to the previous Sunday's sermon, and then there's about a 10 to 15 minute Q&A with one of the preaching pastors and Ed Lamb. So yeah, how have you used takeaway?
So actually, we watched that video of you being interviewed by Ed or Jake or whoever's preaching, and that kind of resets us on when we saw the sermon, and it goes deeper. But then also Adam and Marlon, they've got some wonderful worship music, because that's part of our small group ministry. We want to, it's not, you said a Bible study. A small group's not, and when I say just a Bible study, I'm not downplaying Bible study in any way, shape, or matter or form, but that's the discipleship piece. But there's fellowship, there's evangelism, there's ministry, there's service, worship. So by adding that worship song to that video, it really helps us, because we've got the words on there. If you feel like you want to sing along and worship with your small group, you can just listen to the music and praise God that way. So we watch that. Then we go through the discussion questions. There's 3 sections in it, actually. There's one for the group itself. There's one for kids. So if you want to use that over your dinner table with your family as a devotion with your kids, you can do that. And then the last piece is for your individual devotion through the week. So it's been amazing. We're really, really happy with it.
And you may not know, but we partner with Saving Grace. Saving Grace is doing the same sermon series, and they're able to put their own unique brand, and it's helping their small group ministry as well. So thanks for all you're doing there. Trey, before people enter into a relationship with a local church, especially in a post-Christian, or we're going to say pre-Christian context, think of Gen Z, folks 22, 25, and under. Many of them have grown up in homes where religious habit, spiritual habits on a campus at a church, that's just something that's very, very foreign to them. So the first invitation is probably not to worship. First invitation could be into a small group, but it may not even be into a small group. It could be around various felt needs. So you've heard us talk about CG Cares. This is a consistent rotating group of classes set to kick off here in the fall. And so give us more details about what CG Cares is all about there, Trey.
I want to add to what you said. It's definitely for the folks you're talking about, the de-churched, unchurched, don't really feel comfortable in a formal church setting or even a small group. It's definitely for that, but it's also for, I've given an example of if you're in a small group with a group of people and life's hard times hit us all and there's one specific area that you're really dealing with, that's not necessarily the focus of the whole small group, that because everybody else has needs too. So there might be a period of time in your life that you need to either stay in the small group and do one of these CG Cares ministry opportunities or even step away for a little bit. But it's more focused on you, yourself, your own needs in 4 different areas: faith, family, finance, and fitness. And I think we were going to go through what our offerings are right now.
Yeah.
We've got some really incredible ones going on.
Let's start off with faith. Talk to us about Alpha. A little story here to prime this. We have one of our younger members. She's her name is Sage McDaniels. I think she'd be okay me telling this to y'all. She's in college at Concordia University in Wisconsin, and didn't know anyone when she went to school there. And she befriended 5 hockey players, mostly from Canada. And they formed this like little community. Well, here's the thing. None of those hockey players know who Jesus is. They went there because CUW's hockey program is fantastic. And so she sent me a really long email. Where do I start in terms of their discipleship growth to introduce them to Jesus? Bing, here's Alpha that is online that we could invite them to. So tell us a little bit more about Alpha, Jake.
That's amazing. Yeah, Alpha is an opportunity for you to invite people to a safe space to meet nice Christians that care about you, and you learn more about life's big questions. You get some good answers. You learn about faith, meaning, and purpose. And so we did an Alpha this past summer where we had 11 people that we knew locally or that joined us in Indiana, and it was online. And we had a couple people that were skeptical of Christianity and a couple people that were Christian, but they really weren't plugged into a Christian home, Christian family, Christian church. And so it's about 11 weeks long, and you have topics like, who is God? Who is the Holy Spirit? Why should I pray? What do I do with the problem of evil? And it just allows you to have these good discussions and dialogue. What I also love about it is it's actually not someone in the space usually delivering the talks. It's via video, so that if the person in the space has a real heavy argument against the content, you're not angry, honestly, at the person across the table. The person across the table is a host. It's a moderator. They're showing hospitality to strangers. And so you eat together, you chill together, you hang out, and you simply listen. So even if someone's skeptical, is like, I am mad about this and I don't believe in this, you simply say, I'm so glad you're here. I mean, I see your point of view. Anyone else? And you might say like, wow, that's really watering it down. We need to convert this person. Well, we know the Holy Spirit does it, and that person's not ready for conversion. They need to be able to voice their opinion. And in time in the 11-week process, there's a retreat where then you ask them, hey, do you believe in the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit? And see if they would then become Christian. And then toward the end, you two can answer, apologetically more of their answers.
So that would be a group where somebody listening knows of someone in that situation that you would actually attend with them to make them feel comfortable if that would help, right?
And I would also say, even if you don't have a friend right now who's a pre-Christian, but you're like, man, I don't know how to talk about
Get you in the mindset.
That's another one,
about the faith in a way that's accessible,
Yep.
not conflict oriented, but super fun. That's what people don't realize about faith conversations, spiritual conversations. It is fun. It's enjoyable. Barna Research has backed it here just recently. So Alpha is fantastic. That's about faith. What We Believe is another offering that we have. We're in the second week right now. For those of you who are lifelong Lutheran Christians, it is our confirmation, adult confirmation class, 6 weeks. It's all online. It's a smaller class this time, but a couple students who are joining us from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And they're actually looking to start a microsite congregation, and they're engaged. And one of the leaders there is he's never been around a Lutheran context, so he's super, super excited to go deep in our Word and Sacrament theology. One more on faith, Trey.
The third offering we have under the felt need of faith is God, Government, and the Gospel, and it's based off David Platt. He does Secret Church every year, and there were in this room actually there were about 25 of us that spent from 6 to midnight going through an intense Bible study about God, government, and the gospel, and it was incredible. So Tom Lully and I just said, with what we're approaching in the next couple months, this is ideal for us to dig in and try to understand how to deal with these topics. And it's starting up September 27th, so I'd really recommend if this is something that you're, which probably all of us are struggling with, how to deal with, sign up.
And it ends on November 1st.
Yep.
I love that. So yeah, if you're struggling with that, or you're like, I don't understand, like, what do Lutherans believe? What do Christians really believe about how involved we should be with these kind of governmental voting, citizenship on earth decisions? Be there.
Exactly. All right. So let's talk family.
So the felt need of family, we've got several offerings. One is offered by Tanya Calendo, our principal. It's Parenting with Love and Logic. And I know she's offered that several times, but perfect timing right now to be doing that with all the new challenges we face in our life. That starts October 14th. So if you're interested in coming alongside some other Christian parents and just wading through some pretty important issues, this would be a great thing to sign up for.
Yeah. Divorce Care has had a lot of success recently, hasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Talk about Divorce Care.
We're starting a new class of that real soon. Actually, if you just go online, you can find it. It's offered periodically. I think right now we're in the middle of one of the classes, but very powerful. Lori Blomker, Rob Galinis lead that, do a great job. So if that's something you're dealing with right now, or again, going back to Alpha, this is not just about you. This is about people you know. So if you know somebody that's dealing with that, then plug them in with other Christians, and here's some life-giving messages and not the negativism that you can get from other people that you talk with.
Yeah, and then a couple years ago, we signed on with something called Symbis, Save Your Marriage Before It Starts, but it's also Symbis Plus, which is for married couples. So how would we get involved in that?
So I'm going to ask that this be added to the CG Cares, so we all know where we can direct people to sign up. Right now, it's just contact the office, and actually it's myself and one or two other people would walk you through that process. It's an assessment that you and your spouse or to-be spouse fills out. It takes probably 30 minutes. It's very, very intense in terms of dealing with every topic you can imagine that married couples are going to deal with.
Faith, finance, sex, money.
All of that. And I've gone through it with probably 35 couples from Christ Greenfield at this point, and there's not one of those that I would say would say anything except really, really good thing. You two deal with the pre-married couples after we go through, and I'm sure they've given some great feedback on that.
All right, so faith, family, finance. We have a personal budgeting crash course that is set to kick off here. I think it's already started. Is that led by the Wilsons?
Yeah.
Ron and Vicki Wilson, you guys are amazing. So if you just want a crash course, how many weeks is that crash course?
It started the 15th.
But you could probably join anytime. I think a lot of the
sure,
principals are consistent. Another one is an FPU class, and Jake, that's going to be centered at East Mesa. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, I mean, as we go into East Mesa and we're there, we're learning about the felt needs of the community, and one of them is the finance. A lot of people have debt. They've already moved into their new home, but they're also living above their means. And so we have that starting with Sue Berry kicking that off. Cool. Sue and Dan Berry, they are experts at FPU. Their life has been radically changed. If you haven't caught the lead time where we interviewed them, it'll rock your world to see the insurmountable debt the commitment then to God changing their life and now living debt-free. So that starts in October, and we're going to do that on a Sunday morning around 10:30 so that people get to rub close on that campus with us as Christians and say, hey, what's going on here? Oh, we're a church. And so pray for that.
So faith, family, finances, some FBU classes, and the last one is fitness. I hear people talk all the time about, man, I put on the COVID-15 and all these types of things. Do you know that the average American consumes well over 1 cup of sugar every single day? Do you know that the average American is working out, like getting a sweat on, less than once every 2 weeks?
Once every 2 weeks.
Once every 2 weeks. Nice. So we have a guy at our congregation by the name of KJ Strews. He's been on Lead Time, I think about 3 times now. You could find him. He has a class that he's offering for free. Live your fullest life every day. Live to your fullest every day. And he's going to talk about the convergence of spirituality, relational things, as well as then you want to set, I'm not a huge fan of diets, neither is KJ. You want to set a solid rhythm for eating what God has brought out of the ground. KJ is going to make it super accessible, super simple. Sign up for Live Your Fullest Wednesday. Every day.
Yep. That starts Wednesday.
It starts on Wednesday.
More spots available. Sign
you
up
can
today.
find all of these classes right on your app. Super simple.
I was looking right here, just on the app, can you see that? Is that good? So at the top, worship. On the bottom, CG Cares, just boom, pop that in. And then it goes really to the description of all those ministries. RCP. Family, fitness, everything we just talked about. Register now. I'm going to register right now, guys.
There you go. No, seriously, this is an awesome opportunity for you. You're a lifelong follower of Jesus at Christ Greenfield, or for a neighbor. Go through one of these classes together with a pre-Christian. But we are so pumped about what CG Cares means, and the ultimate goal of these kind of shorter, whether it's a 4-week or a 6-week experience, is to move people into worship, small groups, and then serving. Get in that rhythm of following Jesus here at Christ Greenfield. Any last words on what CG Cares means to us? And
I think you nailed it. I do want everybody to know that this is not just a one-time thing. This is ongoing, and when these classes conclude, we'll have another series of classes, different topics. So this is something that can be part of our DNA moving forward.
Yeah, I think the big thing to close with is know that, yes, this is for you, but as we've said many times, it's really for other people. If you know they're dealing with faith issues, family issues, finance issues, fitness, it's a soft softball invitation, just to throw to them to say, hey, I have this awesome class. We also just got Google grant money, and so we are going to be pumping these classes full of publicity through Google that they're giving us this free money as a nonprofit. So really excited about promoting these in a great way.
I mean, let's celebrate that. Christ Greenfield got $10,000 a month. That's $120,000 a year. La Mesa also applied for Google grants. You want to talk about meeting felt needs of folks that are maybe dealing with addiction, obviously loneliness and homelessness. How do we market via Google grants to them too? So $10,000 a month went to La Mesa. Shout out to Joy Gerhauser, who did all of the work to get and secure those grants.
Way to go, Joy.
Now, Jesus is moving in a beautiful way. Thanks for hanging out with us today on Tim and Jake Live. Trey, you're a gift. One final thing, I got about an hour worth of work later on this afternoon when I got a window, and then I'm getting back my thesis, and we're pretty much there for my doctorate thesis. Trey's been my main reader over the last 2.5 years to get this across the finish line by the grace of God. So thanks for your patience with me and your belief. I mean, truly, your belief in me and what that project's all about, raising up more collaborative, mission-minded pastors who transform churches. So Jesus is good. Thanks for hanging out with us today, and download the app if you haven't already done it. We will see you very soon on one of our campuses. If you're at East Mesa, I will be there with you this upcoming Sunday.
Gilbert, I'm going to have a robe back on.
Gilbert.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, bring the robe, baby. Later.